Hey there guys, another small plumbing job in the Thorpe household, and this is our under sink reverse osmosis unit. So the reason we have this is because our borehole water has slightly elevated levels of manganese, which are a little bit over what you're allowed in the private drinking water supply regulations. And so this was purchased about 5 years ago, and it's got 5 stages. So you've got a five micron paper filter, you've got a block carbon filter, and then you've got a 1 micron paper filter. That then passes up to this RO unit, which I've just removed. It's in the housing here, but the actual element or membrane looks like this. These come in different grades or flow rates. The unit came supplied initially with a 50 gallon a day. What's that? 50 gallons a day, 250 litres a day roughly. Membrane, but this time around I've gone for a 100 gallon per day one. Hopefully that will fill up the water bank a bit quicker, because sometimes if you fill up a large container to say take out for the day, if you're out and about, it will completely empty that because it's only like 4 litres or something. And so everybody in the house has then got to wait around for that pressure vessel there to recharge, and so hopefully that will happen a bit quicker with this one. They go right up to 500 gallons per day, but this one was a minimal price increment up from the 50 gallon one, so I went for that. But anyway, so this is the first time I've changed this membrane in the 5 years since we've had it. And also, I think it's the same time, first time I've actually opened up and changed this filter, so this is the 5 micron filter. As you can see, we have a lot of sediment in our borehole water supply. That goes through a string filter in the pump housing. Sorry. The water is initially filtered through a string filter, which is in the pump house in the garden. That's featured in some of my other videos. And as you can see, there's still a lot of sediment in there, this sort of iron-rich sludge. I dare say if you rinse that filter off on the outside, you could probably put it back in and get another few weeks work, few weeks use out of it. A good way to check whether a filter is really past its due or whether it's just got a crust on the surface is to have a look inside. And if it's sort of looking red internally, or whatever colour your sediment is, then you know it's probably past its sell by. But this one here, that's the carbon block filter, that's the old one. This is the 1 micron filter. Now, that one is actually white when it starts, so God knows why it's gone black. I think manganese oxide is black, so maybe that's the manganese. It's actually sort of, or maybe, I suppose that could be from the carbon filter, couldn't it? Carbon is also black, I hear. So, yeah, that black could be from the carbon filter. Anyway, so 5 micron, carbon, 1 micron, then it goes through the membrane, and then last of all, as it comes out of this pressure vessel, it comes back up through this last granular activated carbon filter before it comes to the small tap which we drink out of. And the symptoms that your filters need changing are when the water coming out of the tap is very slow, and also the quantity which ends up in here reduces. So for example, when this was new, I could fill up 5, possibly even 6 litres worth of bottles with drinking water, although the 6th one is very slow. But now it's down to about 2, and I think that might be because the reverse osmosis membrane works on a pressure differential, and so when you've got, say, water coming in at 3 bar and the filters are clogged, the pressure which it takes to charge this up is dictated by the valve on the bottom, but ultimately the less pressure you've got to squeeze water into that pressure vessel, the less it will hold. And so now we're down to about 2 litres, and the water kind of trickles out the tap. It takes 2 or 3 minutes to fill up 5 glasses of water, which is a bit long-winded. But yeah, it's been a good system. And like I say, really, the only thing I've had to service over the last 5 years is this 5-micron filter, which I've changed about 5 or 6 times, possibly. And as you can see, our water here is, the incoming water is pretty manky. I mean, there's that. If you were just running this on a main supply, it would probably last 10 years. I suppose there's a question of whether it's hygienic to use the same filters for so long. I don't know, but in terms of getting water out of the tap, which qualitatively has been perfectly fine to drink, and no one's got ill from drinking it, then yeah, you could probably go 5 years between servicing. So I hope you found that interesting. I'm going to take this down to the shed now and put it in the vise to get that bit off, hopefully, because it's proving a bit troublesome to get off, which is unsurprising, but it hasn't been opened up for so long. Yeah, anything else? Yeah, so when the water goes into the RO filter, you've got a feed here, and you've also got a reject. So basically, the water is supplied. I don't know what that was for. So the water is supplied into this end of the RO filter housing, and then there's a reject pipe. So in effect, the water flows in here, it's held at a certain pressure, the osmosis happens across the membrane, and then the clean water comes out of this side. So the reject water goes up this pipe here and into there, which I will, when I've got both hands free, I will just pull that out and have a look at the end to check that it's flowing properly as well. This is connected to a pipe via what they call a needle valve, which is not an amazing way of connecting something to a pipe, but that's what the kit came with, and I just used it, and it's been fine, to be honest. Biggest problem is when I changed our kitchen tap recently, and I've got a compression fitting there which is weeping slightly, but yeah, so but there you go. I can hear some water running out of a pipe, so I'm going to go and sort that out, and I hope someone found that interesting. But the company I got this from is called the East Midland Water Company, and you can ring them up and talk to someone on an actual phone who knows what they're talking about. I've got no affiliation with them, but to me, to have this unit for 5 years, I think it was a couple of £100 with all the filters, and then to be able to go and get a whole new set of filters for it 5 years later, and to ring up and check with someone on the phone that that's okay, is pretty good, to be honest. So yeah, they're a reliable company, at least for the last 5 years, and the system's been very, very good. Hopefully I'll put it all back together and it will work, which will be a bonus. But right now I'm going to go and try and get this membrane out and swap it over. Anyway, thanks for watching as always, and cheerio, bye.